Sri Paramagurubhyo Namaha, Srimad Ananda Tirtha Bhagavad Padacharya Gurubhyo Namaha, Sri Raghavendra Tirtha Gurubhyo Namaha. With the command of Sri Subhadendra Tirtha, the present pontiff of Sri Raghavendra Swami Math, and with his grace and blessings, we have started this lecture series on Bhagavadgeeta, and today we are issuing the 6th version of the Bhagavadgeeta lectures. We have seen that Krishna is now trying to remove the moha of Arjuna, ajnana, viparita jnana, mithya jnana, misunderstanding or perverted understanding of Arjuna. Moha nimittakat, shokat and manodaurpalyam yasmin sati sarva vyaparo paramaha bhavati saha vishadaha. Even at the cost of repetition, for continuity of our understanding, I keep on telling the same definitions and same slokas again and again. That gives us the continuity of the lectures. So he moves very systematically, like a very typical professor. He takes up the starting point for Vishada, the moha, misunderstanding. First misunderstanding is that he is remorsing over those with whom he should not remorse. In the same way, in the general, if a truant officer is there, if you are caught up in a conflict of interests, conflicts of thought processes, not knowing what to do, you must first analyze what is the root cause for this conflict and then try to remove this root cause. Instead of assuming that everything is alright, you first ask what is the root cause. Then only you will be able to resolve the crisis situation and move towards a better understanding and better resolution of the problem. That is the message that is here. And so he begins by asking the questions himself. One beauty of Bhagavad-Gita is, at several places, Krishna Paramatma makes Arjuna as an afflicted party to ask questions. At several places, he himself anticipates the questions and answers them. That is the beauty of a psychiatrist consultant. He has to anticipate the questions that Arjuna might ask and answer them. Then the victim or the patient thinks that the doctor has understood his problem and he is anticipating my thoughts and replying to them. All these lessons and messages for our everyday life are implanted at every stage of Bhagavad Gita. We have to only analyze in the proper perspective and understand. So at several places, he does not allow Arjuna to ask, he does not wait for Arjuna to raise the questions, but at several places, he makes him alert to raise the questions. So here he anticipates the questions. He goes on systematically in a very logical way. Why do you remorse? Do you remorse because Deha is getting lost? Do you remorse because Jiva is getting lost? Or do you remorse because Deha or Jiva, anyone gets lost, means it is a source for anxiety and worry and dismay, and therefore you do not believe in Bheda and Jiva Jada Bheda. Deha is Jada and Jiva is Chetana, and Chetana Jada Bheda you don't recognize, and therefore if anyone is. So Krishna now demolishes each one of these perceptions. Jiva Nasha is not there. Natvevaham jatu nasan natvam neme janadhipahan nichayvana bhavishyamaha sarveva yamatah param. We have already seen the meaning of this sloka. And then Deha Nasha, why do you worry about Deha Nasha? If you lose this Deha, you will get a better Deha. Just as in the present life itself, the Deha transforms from one stage to the one phase to the other. Kaumara, Yavana, Jara. Childhood, youth and old age. Then you don't remorse. You are happy. You have become a little aged and mature and people respect you and you show some sort of self-respectful feeling in the mind and you don't remorse. And in the same way, if Jiva leaves this body, don't remorse. It goes to another Dehantar Prapti. And therefore, You should not remorse. And no, these people are not in front of me, I am not able to talk to them. See how systematically and logically, like a very systematic, seasoned professor, Krishna, or a psychiatric consultant, Krishna deals with the dismay and the agony of Arjuna. Now, he anticipates the question. Why do you say that I should not remorse? They are not there in front of me. Then Krishna says, do you know what is the source of Sukha and Dukkha? Very fundamental sloka is now coming. We must take this sloka as a very basis for the philosophy of life. Matra sparshastu kaunteya sitoshna sukha dukkhadaha agama apayino anityaha tamstitikshasva bharat. Hey Kaunteya. Now he addresses Arjuna as Kaunteya, Kunti Putra. You are my sister's son. And Matra sparshaha tu Kaunteya sitoshna sukha dukkhadaha. Matra means miyante iti matraha. Miyante iti matraha. It's Vishayaha. Miyante ete iti matraha Vishayaha. Vishayaha means for the Pancha Jnanendriyas, the Vishayas. Rupa, Rasa, Gandha, Rasa, Rupa, Sparsha, Shabdaha, Jnana Vishayaha, Tesham, Sparshaha, Sambandhaha. The contact with the sense organs of the Vishayas, and they alone are Sukha Dukkhadaha. Do you think that they cause the Sukha and Dukkha? Sita Ushna Sukha Dukkhadaha. Sita and Ushna are taken as symbolic. Lakshanaya, all other Anubhavas. Sita Anubhava, Ushna Anubhava. In the same way, the Gandha Rasa Rupa Sparsha Shabdakhya Sarva Vishaya Parau Bhutva Tad Anubhava Lakshakau. All these Shabda Anubhava, Gandha Anubhava, Rasa Anubhava, Sparsha Anubhava, and all these are to be taken in the form of Anubhavas. And so Sita Ushna, later on the Krishna explains as to why he has taken the example of Sita Ushna, the Sparsha. But right now the sloka is giving Sitoshna these are the Vishayas for the Anubhavas coming from the Sparsha. Sparsha as the contact of the Sparsha Indriya with the objects. Then Sita Ushna Sukha Dukkhadaha. Sita Anubhava, Ushna Anubhava. Depending upon the season, we feel Sukha and Dukkha based upon Sita Anubhava and Ushna Anubhava. Matra Vishayaha, Sparshaha, Sambandhaha. Two. Do you think Matra Sparshastu Kaunteya? Now he addresses Arjuna with a very affectionate name as Kaunteya. You are Kunti Putra. Now when he has to tell him very sophisticated, very profound messages of life, he puts his hand around his neck or addresses him with affection. Kaunteya Matra Sparshaha Sitoshna Sukha. The contacts of the sense organs and the Vishayas are the givers of Sukha and Dukkha by the respective Anubhavas. Then, if that is so, then my sorrow and agony and remorse have the reason, have the rationale, because I will not be having them and I will not have my Indriyas contacting them. Then Arjuna, Krishna says it is a Kakuswara. Tu is Rayaru says, Tu is Kakuswara. Matra Sparshastu Kaunteya Sitoshna Sukha Dukkhadaha. Do you think that the Sukha, Dukkha, Sita, Ushna are taking place? Anubhava and the effects of these Anubhavas as Sukha, Dukkha are taking place only because of the Matra Sparshaha? No. Anubhava Abhimana Sahitaha eva. That is the message that is going to be brought out here. When you have the Abhimana, that it is my object and my people, then only you will get Sukha Dukkha. Abhimana Rahitaha, they will not. Therefore they are Agama Apayinaha. Agama means they come and Apayinaha means they go. They are not permanent. The contact of the sense organs with the Indriya, with the Indriyas and with the Vishayas is not the only cause for causing Sukha and Dukkha. When they are accompanied by Abhimana, therefore they come and go, and therefore they are Anityaha, they are not permanent. They come and go, and therefore you cannot consider the person's not being in front of you is the cause for your worry or sorrow or sadness. You have some sort of abhimana for them. You have a wrong abhimana. They are adharmis. You should not consider them as your own, and therefore not having the feeling that they are your own people, then it will take away your sukha and dukkha. We see many times in the televisions people dying, accidents taking place, and people belonging to the kith and kin crying, but we don't cry. We feel sorrow to some extent, but our feelings of sadness and agony and misery are not the same thing as the people who consider them as their own persons. Therefore, when abhimana is there, the sukha dukkha come. When abhimana is not there, mere indriya and vishaya sannikarsha does not create the sukha and dukkha. Agama apayinaha. Agama means they come and go. When they are not even pravahataha anadinitya. Rayaru considers this to say that they are not even pravahataha anadinitya. Gangodakasya pravahataha nityatvepi vyakti rupena anityatvam na vivakshitam. That is not the intention here. But that is like Kinshuka kusumanam pravahataha api vichidyamanatvam. It's like Kinshuka kusuma is coming in the season and goes away. Some white flowers that come in the trees, they come and go in the seasons. And when the season is not there, there is no flow of flowers. Otherwise, there is a very great flow of flowers. They are not pravahataha anitya. Rayaru elaborates on this, how they are not pravahataha anitya and pravahataha nitya and vyakti rupena anitya. Not like that. So therefore, we have to consider that matra sparshaha tu, they are not only thing that are required to have sukha and dukkha. Abhimana sahitaha eva. Abhimana tyagena tan matrasva titikshasva. Titikshasva means vifali guru. You make them futile. How I can make them futile? That is by giving up abhimana. Don't consider that they are your own people. So by giving up the abhimana, you can always make the contact of the sense organs with the objects futile, wasted. And so abhimanam vina kritaha matra sparsha rupaha samagre ekadeshaha sukhadidane chakto bhavati iti bhavaha. Rayaru's commentaries give in a very succinct manner the meanings. And then later on, if sukha and dukkha are to be avoided by giving up abhimana, I better not act, I better not kill the people and then give up abhimana. But I would better not kill them at all. Nanu dukkha bhavasya yuddha akarnepi sambhavat kim tat kritva dukkha bhavaya abhimanatyagena ityashankya dehadya abhimanatyagena bhavan dukkha bhavaha swayam phalarupopi parama purushartha hetushya bhavati. Rayaru for the next sloka gives the preamble. One beauty of Rayaru's commentary is that for every sloka there is a preamble which gives the background and the content of the sloka very clearly, and at the end of the sloka he gives the actual message of that sloka very clearly. That is the great genius of Rayaru in giving the introduction to each sloka in a very effective manner. Yam hina vyatayante te purusham purushashabha samadukha sukam dhiram soamrtatvaya kalpate. For one who does not make these matra sparsha, gives sukha dukkha anubhava, and do not create the vikaras. If sukha is there, there is utseka, that means there is excitement. Then dukkha is there, then you are becoming depressed. These feelings for whom they are not there. If one is Samadukha Sukha, Raya gives a very beautiful description of what is Samadukha Sukha. Dukkha Sama Sukha. Dukkha Sama Sukham Nityavat. Yatha Apumartha Hetuna Anupadeyam Vaisheka Sukham Api Amritatva Virodhitva Anupadeyam Yasya Saha Samadukha Sukha. Sukhena Anupadeyatvena Dharmena Dukkhena Samam Sukham Yasya Saha. Every time he gives grammatical meanings and etymology, the derivations of the words, and makes the meanings of the Bhagavadgeeta very clear. That is why I said in the beginning, though Rayadu has written Bhavadeepa Prakasha on Gita Bhashya of Madhvacharya and Gita Tatparya of Madhvacharya, he has chosen to write an almost independent commentary. Though he says that these are all Bhashyad Yuktartha Sangraham, whatever he has given in Gita Sangraha are the summing up, summaries, are the condensation of whatever is stated in Gita Bhashya, Gita Tatparya and Prameya Deepika and other granthas. He is so modest, he does not claim complete independence of his own thoughts. He says, I have drawn from them, maybe I have added a few things here and there to make things clear. That's why I give the condensation. That's why if we read Gita Sangraha, there is no need perhaps to read the other granthas in a way. He gives the essence of it. Just as Bhagavata is the essential of all the Veda granthas. It's almost like a plantain leaf with its chilka removed, and in the same way this gives us the essential messages of Bhagavad Gita as contained in other granthas also. So we stop here and Yatra Yogeshwarah Krishno Yatra Partho Dhanurdharaha Tatra Sri Vijayo Bhutihi Dhuvani Tirma Tirmama Sri Krishna Arpanastu.